At Little Qualicum Cheeseworks, we make a soft cheese called Brie, and then we make different varieties of chill. We make a spreadable cheese fromage frais. We make a blue mold cheese, blue clair it's called, and feta, and the sunshine feta, which is marinated. Today I'm showing you the process of how to make Brie cheese. It's always amazing how with such a short period of time that from milk you go to such a different type of product. It's a very delicate product and it needs a lot of care and you have to be very on the ball with it. And I love doing stuff like that, and so that's why I love doing cheese. Little Qualicum Cheeseworks is unique because our cows are right 100 feet away from where we actually process the milk, which saves us a lot of trucking the milk around and pumping it, which keeps the quality of the milk very high. In the morning we receive the milk and we have to make sure it's cold, so we have to make all these quality steps and to make sure the milk is in its best quality, especially when we make a raw milk cheese where there it's very vital. The milk is always cooled, the pH is right, and so we make that sure in the morning first thing when we take a little bit off of the milk and test for all these things. And then from there, we just have to make sure that we heat the milk as quickly as possible and cool it down. The longer the milk is warm, the more we damage some of the good ingredients that are in there. So that's where we have to keep an eye on it. The purpose of heating is to eliminate bacteria that could be harmful, making people sick, and that's the only purpose why we pasteurize. We don't use all our milk to just make cheese. We also sell some milk in the milk dispenser. So that's what I take after the pasteurization off and put it into different tanks and cool it down there 4 degrees. And from there it goes in a little hose to the milk dispenser where people can pick it up farm fresh. So our vat fits about 1,800 liters, and we have around 14 to 16% yield, so that would give with 1,800 liter, 1,400 wheels of Brie. After the pasteurization, we cool the milk with a heat exchanger and until it's around 32 degrees, and then from there we add the cultures. As soon as I add culture to it, so that is different bacteria strains, from there on the texture will be later influenced, but especially the flavor will start from there. And then the texture will change as soon as we add rennet to it. And from there on it's cheese. Before that, if I only have the cultures in it, then we talk about a yogurt. It would also get thick, the texture would change over time, but then it's a yogurt, and as soon as you add the rennet, then we have cheese. Rennet is an enzyme. It usually comes from the stomach of a calf, where it helps the calf to digest the milk, so it makes the milk thick. We use in here now for our cheese synthetic rennet. It will take about 30 minutes until it's fully thick, and then we will cut it into the desired size. That will vary by how much water we want in the end product. And a soft cheese like Brie, we want more water, so we will cut bigger cubes. And after that, we will heat the milk a little bit, and then we will weigh off in 2 molds. When we make cheese, we have about 14 to 16% turns into milk, and then the rest is going to be whey with there's a lot of water in it and a little bit of protein and fat, which then goes to the farm who fertilizes the field with it, so nothing gets wasted. We will suspend the mix of whey and curds through a hose to the molds and just distribute it into each single mold, where it then gets self-pressed. Most cheese needs a weight to get all the curds growing back together. And with soft cheese like brie, we do not need that because the curds are still soft enough to grow together by themselves. It will stay in the molds after the weigh off for about 6 hours, and then the desired pH is reached, and then from there we can brine them. So after that, we will put it into a salt water called a brine. It stays there for about 40 minutes, and then it will take on salt and give off a little bit of water, and then from there it goes on to the drying aging racks. For the mold ripened cheese, it's important that we don't transfer any other kind of mold, so we just put a white mold in it. We make a blue cheese at the same time, so we don't want to contaminate that onto our brie because it wouldn't look good to have a two-colored brie. Yeah, so that's why it's so important to sanitize. The job is about 90% is cleaning, and the rest is actually making cheese. It takes about 5 to 7 days of ripening, and then it gets packed and mostly shipped out in a matter of a day to a week, depending when the distributor comes and picks it up. We made here today about 1,200 wheels of brie, which we then sell in our store, or we distribute to local stores that sell them so that you can enjoy everyday fresh cheese.